LeBron is now 63 points shy of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. This is LeBron at the post-game presser talking about what the scoring record means to him.
I mean, I grew up being a historian of all sports and understanding, that I don't have the number like planted in my head, the actual real number. I know it's 38 something, but I know it's been Kareem in my whole life. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he got to he got to put some pepper or some sort of rub some pepper oil on his outside of his hand or something, and then rub his eyes. Because he wanted to throughout the press conference. He was trying to squeeze a few out, and he really couldn't get them out the way he needed to, But he'll be able to. Look, man, it's certainly, as you get closer to certain milestones and records in your career, he's right about no matter what level you're on, when and he knew, obviously, for a while that he would at some point in time, if he stayed healthy, get to Kareem's record, and he's, 60 what is it?
68 points.
68 points away.
63.
63 points away. So essentially that could be 2 games, maybe stretch it to 3. It depends on when he exactly wants to do it. If I was him, I probably wouldn't do it till I get back at home. So I would probably try to prolong it as long as I could.
Little 15 assist games.
No, guys. You got to, LeBron's strategic. He's going to do it at home against Milwaukee on TNT. It's going to happen.
With a skyhook?
It's going to be a skyhook for sure.
This is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. This is the team he played for. That's how you pay homage to the history of the game.
This is the insane thing about the Lakers.
He's going to do a key.
This is the insane thing about the Lakers. A dude in a Laker jersey, LeBron James, is about to pass another dude who wore that Laker jersey for a big part of his career, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, for the all-time scoring title, right? Neither one of those two are considered the top 2 Lakers of all time. Like, as Lakers. It's Magic and Kobe, right? That franchise is bananas. It's bananas.
Well, I guess for me, in being from L.A., born and raised, been there my whole life.
Me too.
Me too, Key.
It depends on who you ask, because I could ask my football coach in Darryl Holmes, and he'd laugh at y'all by saying that Kareem wouldn't be considered the top Laker.
Well,
he literally would laugh. But he played 100,000 years, Max.
Yeah,
it's a difference. He won the majority. Lakers. He won all of his championships. I understand he won the one with the Bucks.
Laker,
but all of he won whatever 4 or whatever with the
5 with the Lakers.
5 with the Lakers. I mean, come on.
That's not a debate to me. Have you, Key? Have you guys finally embraced LeBron? Do you finally consider him to be a Laker?
You embrace him. There's no question. He is a Laker, and he won a championship. But the majority of his work was done with Cleveland and Miami.
Yeah,
so
the standards for the Lakers.
You said what,
different.
Mac? I mean, Jay.
I said I mean, but he's traveled, but he's won a chip.
I know, but it's like we don't consider Kareem a buck. We consider Kareem a pass-through for the Bucks. We consider Kareem our own because of most of his work, even though he won a championship with Milwaukee, he belongs to us.
And he went to UCLA.
You know what I'm saying? That's just a difference. There's a difference when it comes to that. When you look at LeBron James, we appreciate LeBron, but remember who he's following.
Yeah.
He's following a homegrown hero superstar in Kobe Bryant who played 20 years with the Lakers.
Yeah.
So it's a different, it's an appreciation, and it's a respect at a whole nother level.
He needs to win another
but at the end of the day, if he won one more.
Got it. The coaches are making picks so much differently than how I think. So I'm watching Jaren Jackson and Paul George. And with all due respect, Jaren Jackson has had one hell of a year. Paul George had a good year. But both these guys have missed 17 games in the first half of the season. 17 games. So as I see guys like De'Aaron Fox, who has played pretty much all the games, who they gave Domantas Sabonis love, glad he's finally all-star, a starter, not a starter, but a reserve. He is a starter, excuse me. And then also with De'Aaron Fox, I'm like, why isn't De'Aaron Fox a reserve all-star? Like, he should be an all-star.
Why do you
think? Third in the West.
Why do you think?
I have no idea. They're third in the West.
There's no good. If
Even
the fans
James
vote, they'll get it wrong. The coaches.
But even James Harden, like Drew Holiday, got all the respect in the world for Drew Holiday. James Harden, you saw it on his IG last night, popping off about it. Yo, the guy's averaging pretty much 21 points and 11 assists per game. Like, he's the main reason with Joel Embiid why Philly's in the position they're in the first place. Like, so what are the coaches doing here? They just see the game that differently.
Well, let me ask you a question about that, Jay. Let me ask you a question. As a baller, right? Ballers see certain dudes differently in my experience. Like, they look at the skills and what they can do, and they're like, nah, man, that dude ain't that dude, right? Like,
yes.
Drew Holiday, that's not James Harden. But if you were a coach and you look at Drew Holiday as a coach and what you need for the team, you might look at it different.
So let's look at it this way. When is the last time that we have said the Sacramento Kings are third in the Western Conference?
Never. Like,
what?
20 years.
What?
Yeah.
Like, Key, when's the last time you talked about the Kings?
Well, you know me. I said if they had LeBron James, they just win the championship. That was 3 years ago, if you remember. And y'all laughed at me.
So
but
how do you not give them credit? How do you not give their two best players credit to be in the All-Star game?
I think you do, right? But at the end of the day, the brand
of what? Jaren Jackson and the Memphis Grizzlies?
No, the brand across their chest becomes a problem because they've been so bad for so long.
Yeah, no, that's a real thing. That's a real thing.
Right, Jay? And they're not going to necessarily reward them because the brand been so bad for so long. That's the only thing I can see. And I could be completely wrong, but I wanted to ask you real quick, Jay, why in the NBA do people, like the players, get so ticked off when they feel snubbed about not being a starter, being a reserve, or not making a reserve? Why is that? Like, why do they go? I just want to know, is it incentive? Like, what happens?
You get incentives. You get bonus checks, Key.
Okay.
If you're an all-star, if you're a star, I mean, you get bonus checks now.
Because I'm like, if you make it, you make it. Why do you care if you start? You're going to play.
Checks. You got it right the first time.
But it's also like clout, man. I mean, like, so James Harden takes less money. He transforms himself into more of a pass-first guard.
After having a bad season.
He has a great season. Yep. You talk about where they are in the Eastern Conference. He's like, damn, I'm not going to be rewarded for that? Y'all going to give it to Drew Holiday over me? Okay.
Okay, so how many guards are, to help me understand this, how many guards are selected, Jay?
Well, it's per position.
That's what I'm saying. How many guards?
Well, let me go through it. Let me pull it up.
Is it 3 guards per? Is it
As
3?
Jay is pulling that up.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
But that's what I'm saying.
Drew Holiday earned $324,000 All-Star bonus for being selected as a reserve.
But, okay, all right.
I want to say something quick because, look.
I hate to make it sound crazy because $324,000 to anyone is ridiculous, right?
But it's not NBA life-changing.
Like, what is he like?
Guys, yeah.
I mean, he going.
Before we get out of here, guys, I want to say one thing about LeBron and the Lakers. Just like Tom Brady changed the standard for how many championships you need to win as a quarterback, right? Back in the day, it's if you got a championship, you were good. You won a Super Bowl. Dan Marino, he just needs that one Super Bowl. Then Brady comes around and he gets 7. Now it's like, damn, you only got 1? You need at least 2, Aaron Rodgers, at least, right? The Lakers franchise is like that. One chip is not enough. Forget about the bubble, even if it hadn't been in a bubble. But if LeBron gets that second championship, people are going to feel differently about him with the Lakers.
If he was homegrown, that one would be great.
But he's not, right.
Yeah, that one would be great.
But he's not. So since he came over toward the end, that next one cements it as Lakers legend.
And on top of that, before we close here, he's following one of the top 3 Lakers of all time.
Yep, he needs that next one as far as the Lakers fans are concerned. Julius Randle, by the way, got $1.2 million for being selected as a reserve.
Okay, see, now we talking.
Now we're talking. Okay.
Not
Incentives.
324, but 1.2 for sure.
Man, that's a hell of a bonus check. All right, so today, since we got the trade deadline coming up on February 9th, I'm going to do 3 Western Conference teams that I'm going to try to fix today. I'll save Key's team for last. But let's start off with number 1. I'm going to go with the Phoenix Suns here, okay? There's been some stuff brewing between CP3, Devin Booker's been out, Monty Williams, a lot of talk around them having their little, team chemistry challenge. And Jay Crowder has not played the whole year. Now, Jay Crowder kept it together for the likes of DeAndre Ayton, okay? He was the one guy through the highs and the lows, kept DeAndre Ayton kind of even killed. Now, you know, DeAndre Ayton has had some issues throughout the course of his tenure there with the Suns, got paid his deal. So with Phoenix, I'm going to get Toronto involved with Phoenix, okay? Masai Ujiri, we're going with James Jones, those two connecting. I'm going to give Phoenix OG Anunoby from Toronto for Jay Crowder, Dari Saric, and 2 unprotected first-round picks.
Woo.
Okay, so
Anunoby, 2 unprotected first.
I'm to OG
with the players.
OG is real
No,
now.
he's a good
OG
player.
He's a great defensive player. He's a guy that can score, and it's a guy that's not really
Compared to
happy with his
Draymond early
minutes
in his
right now
career,
because they've kind of shifted towards Scotty Barnes in Toronto. Okay, so I think that helps Phoenix, and plus it gives you a chance to be all in with CP3 in this last window you have for him to win a championship. Allowed him to get better defensively. You still have shooters. I think it works for Phoenix. Next up. Let's go to another Toronto product that I think actually is the most underrated player in the NBA. Underrated. Fred VanVleet, okay? Now look, the Clippers got a point guard problem a little bit. We've talked about this. They need somebody to be cool, calm, and collective, understand time and situation, slow the plays down.
Put him on the
you
Clippers,
get
Jay.
into the postseason.
Oof.
I'm going to give Fred VanVleet to the Clippers for Luke Kennard, John Wall, and an unprotected 2028 first-round pick.
Yeah.
I think this settles things down for them.
2.
Go ahead, Key.
No, nothing. I'm sorry. I wasn't for you. I was sneezing.
Okay, now you got Fred VanVleet rejoining Kawhi Leonard and Norman Powell, right? And my thing is he becomes an unrestricted free agent anyway, so like this gives them a chance to win a championship with that core unit. All
And
right?
meantime, Masai's got 3 unprotected firsts and some bodies, some live bodies.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, and obviously things aren't working out in Toronto right now. I mean, it was only a couple years ago that they had won a championship with Kawhi, and now it feels like Nick Nurse, who knows what's going on with Toronto and their chemistry issues. So last up, Key, your squad. Los Angeles Lakers. I don't know how you feel about this, but obviously I think you guys having shooting on your squad matters, right?
Absolutely. Everybody knows that.
Yep, we've seen the move with Rui Hachimura. We've seen what he brings to the table defensively. We see what he brings to the table getting to the rim, another big body as a wing alongside AD and LeBron James. I go to the Detroit Pistons. I give the Lakers Bogdan Bogdanovic, right? And the Pistons, I think they get Pat Bev, maybe Lonnie Walker, and maybe an unprotected 2027 first-round pick. So, like, you're not getting a high-level all-star, Key, but you can get a guy that's a versatile wing that can shoot the lights out. Automatically, he's your best three-point shooter.
He's the only plus shooter on the team, like plus shooter.
And by the way, like, you know, that you lose a first-round pick 2027, but I think that's a fair kind of, that gives a window to LeBron and AD and Rui with some other pieces to win it.
But you're giving it unprotected, though. That 2027 is right around the corner, opposed to if we'd have gave that pick away 2 years ago or something like that, 2027 is right around the corner. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying that is right around the corner, but then Russ comes off your books next summer. It allows you cap room to go out and get other pieces. You're kind of set up for another year to run at it.
Yeah,
It's set up for another year to run at it without Russ.
But do you want to mortgage off the future for the unknown?
But that's really half your future. It's not you
And on top of that, who am I looking at in free agency next year that will really make a difference? And from a free agent standpoint, when Russ comes off our books,
there's always free agents. So, Key, and my thing right now is if I'm an opposing GM, I'm not just unless I want to get Russ off my books. But what you guys are looking for, I'm trying to hold you guys hostage. It feels like your back is against the wall in the Russ thing. I think you're stuck with Russ for this finale.
The remainder of the season.
Yes.
Isn't there a team?
But that's
out there
okay.
that, like,
Yeah, it's
clear
not
that
bad.
cap
That's
space?
Russ. Look, man, Russ is fine. He's not the Russ of a year ago.
Agreed. Well,
So he's fine.
Still doesn't shoot.
But
it,
he's
though.
not look.
It doesn't.
We're
fall when
not
he does.
going crazy the way we were about him being on the floor, starting the games, playing those
off the
minutes.
bench here, man.
It's a different Russ.
That's
But
why
there
I
has
So
think
you got to get the
reporting
money.
about the playoffs.
If Russ Jay was making a fraction of what he makes, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Agreed.
Right?
$47 million is a lot, though.
But I know, but if you can somehow get the $47 million out your brain and just look at the player's ability and what the player's been able to do and his contributions, but the problem with that is you're looking at the contributions plus the money. and you're saying, well, that ain't. But if you was paying Russ $2 million, you wouldn't even say. You'd be like, oh man, what a deal.
That's right, at $2 million. But
it's too late.
The reporting has been key that there's concern in the Lakers front office that come playoff time, defenses will still exploit, because Russ is still going to get a bunch of minutes, still exploit the fact that he's not shooting it.
You're not seeing the best strategies throughout the regular season on how to defend Russ right now. I mean, that's
how big a concern do you think that is?
I mean, I think that's why you have to add a guy like Bogey. I mean, a guy like Bogey, all of a sudden, and also it helps you with, you can stagger those guys with your second unit, right? So when Russ is out there doing things because Bron's not out there, now you have Russ involved in pick and pop with Bogey. Like, it allows you to play with that AD Bogey a lot more. It gives you way more versatility for Russ. And that's when Russ is able to cook at his best.
Especially against second units or tired first units. If you put Russ in there with some shooting, that's a different situation.
I mean, look, Yates, you tell me, because we talk about this all the time. I think Bogey, it's not the high end. It's not a Bradley Beal. But, I mean, Bogey, for his size, his frame, getting him out of Detroit, that is a piece that can help you get over the hump to get there a little bit.
I think it certainly could help you put yourself in a better position. But again, do you want to give up what they're going to be asking for Bogey, for the unknown, essentially, on what it really means when they get together?
Other than that, Key, then you hold tight then.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.